always plays you're going to want back, but had a lot of explosives, and it was really just good work for us to get against another defense, another team that play very, very different style of defense than what we face every single day. So it's nice, for myself and some of these guys that haven't been exposed to a lot of NFL football to be exposed to a different team and realize, hey, man, it's not like we get to go practice against the same defense and then go play them on Sundays every week. It's going to be different every week, and we got to find a way to adapt and go out there and execute. So it was good.
This is a little bit of an outlier scheduling-wise because it's not just one set of joint practices that you'll be participating in, but multiple sets of joint practices to get that work in. What does that do for you, especially when you're not getting that preseason game action?
It's great. This is a bunch of good reps against another defense, another team. We'll have it again next week, but we take these really seriously as far as going out there and executing and having good practices. We don't game plan at all really for this. We just go out there and try to test our rules, test ourselves in certain situations. There's things I'll want back after today, but for the most part it was good.
How close is the timing here compared to a real game?
It's never the same just because this isn't tackle football. We're not tackling each other, but the juices are definitely higher when guys, when you're playing against another team, and whether that's in a game or in a practice setting. So it's nice to to feel that a little bit.
For you specifically, how did you feel with collectively your wide receiver core timing today?
Good. Felt really good. We had some nice plays down the field. Tutu had a really nice day. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know what you guys can see from back there, but he did a really nice job today. Had some big plays for us. Puka made a couple catches. Van had some good ones. Drew a PI that was big. Tight ends had some nice plays. Higbee had a long one down the sideline as well. So it was good.
You guys are rotating a lot along that first team offensive line at a couple of spots, or had been throughout most of camp. How is that group coming together in your opinion, especially seeing that first team go against more live style pass rush reps?
Yeah, it's a constant learning thing. We're trying to figure out what we're going to be good at, what our certain guys are good at. I thought they did a nice job setting their pads in the run game. Had some nice creases in there. Kyron ran it well, for the most part I had some time back there. Now Crosby's a heck of a player and was in the backfield a few times. I got to go watch the tape. Anytime he gets within 5 feet of me, he's yelling sack in my face. So I have no idea if those are real. I'm not just an absolute statue back there. I can move a little bit, but so I got to go check it out and look at it. He's obviously a great player in this league, really competitive guy, fun guy to practice against. He's bringing the energy, down in and down out.
When you're in a setting like this, do you evaluate anything differently in terms of rules, whether it's receiver play, offensive line, anything like that?
Yeah, we just want to go see, unscouted, unscripted, how the things that we feel like we're executing at a high level or whatever, rules-wise, do those still hold up? And there's going to be things that we're going to learn, just practicing against a different defense and say, we said we liked it versus this, but maybe we don't, or we said we didn't like it, but man, it's actually looks okay. So there's plenty of those things that we'll see after we watch the tape.
How about the rule of still trying to knock the ball out so we can probably be near 20 yards down?
Yeah, I don't know what I've never gotten that far down the field, to be honest with you, so I'm not really sure what the rules are down there. I'm usually sliding way before that, but I don't know what happened there, but joint practices get that way a little sometimes, but I don't have much experience in that area.
How has your relationship with Stetson been evolved, especially considering your relationship with the Georgia connection?
Oh, it's been good. I really only briefly met him once before we drafted him, but he's like all the other young guys on this team, man, just trying to figure it out and try to figure out what it's like to be an NFL player, where to be, what to do, and continue to try to kind of carve his way, which is fun to see and fun to be a part of. He's a really talented kid, runs around, makes plays, throws it great, but he's like every other rookie, man. They're just doing the best they can to try and figure stuff out as quickly as possible.
Just a couple more guys.
Boil over. How do you go about getting things back on track? When the tensions do boil over in a setting like this, how do you?
I think everybody did a great job today. The rest of the day was fine, event free. I don't have enough energy for all that, to be honest with you. But more power to those guys. But no, I think we all realize we got to get some work done, and that was kind of a one-off thing, and we were able to settle it back down and go play.
Mike was talking about how you guys could see Puka settle in on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching from the sidelines, how can you tell that he's kind of on his footing?
I think just the comfort in which he was tracking the football, the way he was making plays. I'm sure for all those guys, like any of us in a new situation, you get that first catch, you get that first block, he gets hit for the first time. He's going, okay, now I'm just kind of in the feel of the game, and he did a nice job making some plays. So, the more experience he can get, the better, and that's really all of our young guys.
Cool.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you guys go ahead.
Feel today went in terms of accomplishing the goals you wanted?
Good. The tape is always the best thing to be able to look at. We had some good one-spot drills at the end, some good special teams periods, a lot of teamwork, some one-on-ones, kind of competitive stuff in the early parts of it, and we got a lot done. I didn't see exactly what happened when there was a little bit, of a little skirmish, but got it separated. It wasn't an issue, and we were able to get everything that we wanted accomplished, and that was the important thing, and that's where we're at.
Soft cam league practice, is that
Yep.
going to be the rule?
It is. Yep. If you do that, you're out.
Even if you're not the instigator of that?
I don't know what happened if you're involved in it. We're just kind of no tolerance, and so we'll look at it. I'm not. I don't want to speak too much on it because I'm trying to watch what the spot was, and then I see that, and we're trying to get our work in, and that prevents us from getting our work in.
Sean, I know that John Open wasn't held out, but seemed maybe a little bit like he was rotating a little bit. And
No, he was out today.
Okay.
He just did some individual stuff, Jordan. He just got to, he's dealing with a little something right now, and so he won't be practicing the rest of this week.
Do you have any more?
I don't have any more information than that right now, but he wasn't in part of the team activities today. He just was an individual.
You spoke last week about how important these practices were going to be for guys like Joe. Is it a little tougher for him to miss a day like
It
this?
is, but I think the biggest thing is we want to focus on the things that we can control. I know Joe wants to be able to be out here. He's had an outstanding camp. I've been so pleased with his ability to play tackle and guard for us. But I think he's putting all the work in, and that's all you can do. There's some things that occur sometimes on the field that it's like, man, that's an unfortunate thing. It's just a little bit of a setback. We'll hopefully get him out here sooner than later. But we don't want to waste our emotional energy on stuff that we can't control, and he's done a great job of that, and that's important.
In terms of the offensive line more broadly, what did you make of what you saw from them today in this live setting?
I thought it was great to be able to just see a different, some different guys that you're blocking. There's obviously some really good players on their team, and they do an excellent job, schematically, and so anytime that you just get a chance to be able to just use your tools, play rules ball, that's always beneficial. We don't game plan for these types of things, and it's a good test where we learn for ourselves as coaches, and so there'll be some things that we can look at, and then we'll get another opportunity to compete against a really well-run team tomorrow, and looking forward to that.
Why no Aaron today, and will he practice tomorrow?
He'll be yeah. We just had to make a decision. We don't go back-to-back days with him, just in terms of managing him, Gary. And so because of some of the work and the schedule that we have for tomorrow, we felt like that would be a better day for him to get more work in. So he'll be out here tomorrow.
And for your secondary, especially the younger players, going against Devontae Adams specifically,
Yeah.
I know they're going all out, trying to do the best they can, but when he's having a day like he had today, what's the message to you? And
what a great opportunity to go against one of the best. If you have a growth mindset and you're in the mentality of that the work pays off and you continue to get opportunities to challenge yourself, that's what you love. And I think that's what a lot of guys have on our team. He certainly is one of those guys that fits that criteria, and I think it's a great opportunity. And there's some other players on their team that fit that mold, Gary, and what a cool thing it is to be able to do that. And same thing with some of our young guys trying to block Aaron, or some of our guys when Cooper was out here covering him. And so those are special opportunities and things that you don't take for granted. And the best part is hey, let's go try some stuff with no ramifications. That's how you really give yourself a chance to get better, is you test your tools within the fundamentals and the techniques, and It's what you love about this stuff, and it's the same thing for us as coaches, being able to learn, like I mentioned.
You spoke Saturday about Byron Young getting the conditioning test for coming out of the game. As he continues to get his NFL legs under him, what are the technical things you'd like to see him keep together?
I think just the consistency, Jordan. You know, Joe Caniglio does a great job with that group, but it's consistent get off. You know, being just aligned right, getting in the proper stance to then be able to execute your technique within the framework of the call based on the situations. And thought he's had a really good couple days. Seemed like he showed up a handful of times today, and you know, he did a great job. What is today? Is today Wednesday? He had a great practice on Monday. I just know a couple days ago he had another good practice, and so want to just keep stacking blocks, and you're starting to see his work pay off.
You're going to have to go back and watch it, obviously, but you can see him trying stuff out there, like different moves that he's. What is that something you guys are encouraging, especially from these young guys? Maybe it's not something that's like in their bag yet, but you're encouraging them to
There's
try.
no doubt. I think that's the best part about these things. And when you look at anybody that's successful at their craft, these are the times, you know, without being reckless, but to try some techniques and fundamentals to add to your tool belt, so that you can do these things when you get into real competitive situations where these games count in the regular season. And so that's exactly what we want. We want guys that aren't afraid to try that kind of stuff, because of the mindset and mentality that they have, Jordan, and that's exciting to hear.
Your wide receiver core, from my eyes, seemed pretty consistent today. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah, what'd you see that you liked? Yeah, me too. He made a lot of plays, and that's been consistent from the spring. And it's one day, but what I love about Tutu is the work that he's put in is paying off. And that doesn't mean that if you have a setback one day, but it's just continue to have a process that guides your everyday approach. He's done that. He is super smart. You know, he can play all over the formation in our offense. I think he's playing physical at the catch point too. One of my favorite plays, he obviously made a great track down the field over his shoulder, but he also made a nice physical contested play on an outbreak off of a play action where he was kind of getting tugged. They got the flag, and then he found a way to still come down with it. So playing big, he's got a lot of confidence that has been earned, and we want to continue to do that. And I think he and Matthew are getting a great rapport because of the work that they are able to put in. I thought Van showed up a handful of times as well, and both of those guys have really had a really good last couple days, and we want to continue to build on that.
Along
Couple
the
more
lines
guys.
of trying things, leaving Tomlinson on an island a bit with Devontae Adams, that kind of trying.
Absolutely, yeah. And when we're playing rules ball out here, it's it's one of those deals that obviously that's a guy that gets certain attention, and there's different things that you always want to be considerate of him, Andrew. But in these types of settings, it's great for us as coaches and for our players to go out and compete. And one of my favorite things was, they're going to make a couple plays, but I like the way that he finished. Made a couple plays in the 2-minute situation, and that's why he was, such a competitive, great player at TCU, because of the competitiveness and his ability to be able to reset, even if a play doesn't always go our way. And that's any great DB that I've ever been around.
Sean, with Max Crosby being such a big trash talker, is that in a way kind of just practice to avoid the mental mistakes in the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the, he's a great player, and so he does a great job. You can see he's a guy that's passionate, loves football, and so I enjoy, talking with him. And he, you see, he's sitting there talking with Havenstein after practice. These are guys that love their craft, and he's as good as it gets on that position, and super impressed with him. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.